Well, it is November, and our theme for this month is forgiveness. The story of this month is the story of the prodigal son. It's a well-known story from the Gospel of Luke in the Christian scriptures. Now, most of us have probably heard this story over and over. And so I thought in order to make it more interesting, instead of just reading the straight version out of the Bible, I would try to update the story a little bit to modern times to kind of help us to kind of enter the story in a new way. So this is the story about a father who has two sons. One of the sons is named Joe the Plumber. And the other one is named Joe Six-Pack. The father, of course, is Joe Sr., and he has a small business called Joe and Sons Prodigal Plumbers. Their one son, Joe Six-Pack, likes to go to parties and have fun. One day, Six-Pack, as he's called, asks his dad if he can have his inheritance now so that he can go off and live his life the way he wants to. Sure enough, Joe Sr. decides to give Six-Pack all the money that he would someday earn once he became a partner in the plumbing business. Six-Pack takes the money and runs off, and before long he wastes all the money on beer, candy, and parties. I'm telling this to the kids later, so that'll be candy. He wastes all his money and he loses it all. Six-Pack soon finds himself broke with lots of cavities, and he's living in the gutter. He's sleeping in a cardboard box. And when winter comes, he puts the box over a sewer grate because a little heat comes up through the sewer to keep him warm on cold nights. What also comes up through the sewer is a terrible smell. One morning he wakes up to sewer stench wafting into his nostrils, and he thinks to himself, "Look what has become of me. I live in a box in the gutter, smelling the sewers that my father and brother keep full through their plumbing business." Six-Pack decides that he's had enough, and he's going to go back to his father and apologize and beg his forgiveness and ask if he can at least live in the tool shed behind the corporate office where they keep the plungers and the pipe wrenches. He figures at least his dad may pay him to hose off the plungers and equipment at the end of the day. So after being away for many years, Six-Pack finally drags himself home, humbled and ashamed. Before he can even knock on the front door, his father, Joe Sr., sees him through the window, and he rushes through the door, and he runs out to greet his son with his arms wide open. And he gives Six-Pack a huge hug, and he holds him for a long, long time. "You were lost, my son, and now you're found. You were dead and have come back to life," the father says with tears of joy streaming down his face. Then Joe Sr. yells inside to the other son, Joe the Plumber, tells him to hurry up and bring some clean overalls for his brother. And he tells him to take some of the money that they've been saving to buy a new plasma screen TV and use it to order some pizzas with everything on them. And call all our friends so that we can have a party and celebrate his homecoming. Joe the Plumber's not too happy about this. He thinks, wait a minute. You've never ordered pizzas and thrown a party for me. I'm the one who's been doing all the work and saving that money for a new TV. I'm the one who's been following the rules and plunging the toilets and pulling the hairballs out of the showers week after week. And now you're going to have a party for him? What about me? He doesn't deserve a party. That good-for-nothing, beer-guzzling, poor excuse for a Joe. With that, Joe Sr. told Joe Plumber, "You better order those pizzas right now or I'm going to call Joe Mama." At which point, Joe the plumber went inside and ordered the pizzas and called all their friends, but he was not happy about it. As a matter of fact, he was downright furious. He thought to himself, I worked hard to earn this money while he was goofing off, and now Dad wants to take my hard-earned money and spend some of it on him? Talk about spreading the wealth around. This is just not fair. Joe Sr. saw his son, Joe the plumber, still upset. So he went to him and he explained, "Son, I will always love Six-Pack, no matter what he does, just as I will always love you, no matter what you do. My beloved son was lost, and now he's found. He was dead, and now he's come back to life. Come on, Joe. It's time for a party."